I hate Cassandra Nova. She breaks the rules of when mutants get their powers. I hate Cassandra Nova. It should have been the Shadow King. All right, let's jump right back in. Welcome back to another Flicks and Giggles here on the Nonsense Nexus. And we got a very, very long sought after one. This one's been like in the kitchen cooking for a minute, and we've been excited and referenced it a couple times this year. It's time to talk about Deadpool. It's just time. It's time. X, she's Ree. We're both excited. And this one's extra special because Ree went to the movies.
I did, because I usually don't. And I didn't watch any spoilers except for the first trailer that came out, which was forever, and I have the memory of a goldfish, so it's not like I remembered anything from it other than the suit. Um, and then I just avoided social media, I avoided everything until today. Because then I watched it and I watched a whole lot of press junkets. So I'm
Oh,
excited.
wow. You was watching all the promotional material and
I had to do something at work.
I mean, that's true. All right. Well, let's dig into this two scoop style. I typically try to start with like general first impressions. How was your mindset going into this theatrical experience?
My mindset?
Yeah.
I think it was more of like a nostalgia kind of thing, only because um I have taken my kid to the theater to watch Deadpool um for all the movies, including this one. So I was like, "Oh my gosh." And then now he's like a teenager, so like it's even more fun. And so I was just happy going into this. I'm like, "Oh, I haven't been this excited to go to the movies in a long time." So I
Yeah,
was just
yeah.
hype. I was with my son. I was gonna watch with other people too, but I was like, no, I feel like this is just a me and my kid thing. This is like a special thing for us. So that's where my mindset was. So I was just ready.
I knew this was going to be like one of the probably the biggest movie of the summer, if not the biggest movie of the year. But I have a thing with part threes. They typically do very, very bad to me.
True.
Like I usually go into a part three and it's like this is where the ball gets dropped. That's how I feel about part three of many things. Maybe even most things. But like this is where the ball gets dropped. This is when Spider-Man 3 ruins the magic. This is where Rise of Skywalker makes me want to go on some kind of holocaustic rampage. This is when Iron Man 3 makes me go, how did I not like an Iron Man movie? This is when X-Men The Last Stand makes that moment where it's the first movie I got up out of my seat to walk out of the theater on. This is when The Matrix Revolutions makes me not believe in joy. Fortunately, this movie did not make me feel that type of way.
Great.
This one kind of took it to the line of how much, I'm going to use the word zany, how much zany Deadpoolness I can take.
Mm-hmm.
We went right to the limit and said, okay, I maxed out. This movie maxed me out on zaniness. And
which is something I think a lot of people are worried about. I was worried about that. So that's a very good point.
I was waiting for a shark to get jumped. I was like, here we go. Here comes something absurd. We're going to jump the shark. This is going to be it. But I don't think it went too far. I just think we almost went too far, and I almost hit that point where I was like, "Oh, this is bothering me." It didn't quite get there yet. So that made me a happy. But like in terms of part threes, it's hard for me to pull out. I tried to make a quick little list of like part threes that made me go, "Yes." Not only did they not drop the ball,
Ooh,
but oh no, that was too much light.
So I'm curious, what was your list of like they hit the mark of part threes?
Return of the King,
Okay. Okay.
Captain America: Civil War.
Okay. I mean,
Uh,
was that a part three?
yeah, Captain
Oh,
America movies are actually the blueprint for how I think movies should gonna go. because Captain America 1 started here at a very
Baby
meh.
stage. Yeah.
Winter Soldier was amazing.
Yeah. That was
And it elevated so much between 1 and 2. And then 3 just all 3 had to do was hold it, and Civil War held it. Is Civil
okay.
War as good as Winter Soldier to me? No. No, it's not. But it's still very, very good.
It was
And
satisfying.
so therefore it didn't drop the ball, or it didn't shit the bed. Amber heard it, as they say. No one says that. I just made that up. But I mean, they
Herded
should say
it.
it. It's hilarious. Hearded it. No one hearded it. Um,
It didn't hurt.
how is just an unnecessary stray shot fired.
Okay,
Homegirl
anyways.
changed her name and everything to get
So
away
aside from
from
that,
that.
what else?
I couldn't really quickly think of any other part threes that really teed it up hard or improved, or just I was really thinking what didn't drop the ball, and just me thinking about that made me super worried about Deadpool. Not Deadpool. Venom. I'm worried about Venom at this point because
Yeah.
it's not been doing wonderfully, and it's like, can they give me part three and hold on strong and stick the landing? I'm doing this too much. No more air quotes for the rest of the video. So can it stick the landing? That's what we're gonna look for. But let's do a quick two-player plot synopsis. I want to avoid spoilers, but since you've seen this one, I want to circle back and just get deep into the meaty specifics later on, where we can spoil a few things since
Okay.
everyone in the recording session has seen the video.
Okay.
I'm going to read straight from my notes just to save a little time. Wade's story continues. He's seeking meaning, heroism beyond his merc work. His relationship has sunk, but for some reason we didn't get to see that. Him and Vanessa are on the outs,
Yeah.
and she ain't going nowhere. Like, she's still having dinner at his house and hanging out with all the friends. Like, how you gonna break up with me after years of a relationship and then still just be coming around? You ain't broke up with me. You fighting. You still here.
She put him in timeout, is what it
Right,
looked
he's
like.
on timeout. Like,
Mm-hmm.
sleeping on the couch ain't broke up. The same thing anyway. So going beyond X-Men, my man's trying to be an Avenger because he's looking for meaning and he wants to do something important. It kind of is because of her. Because I'm like, that conversation wasn't in Deadpool 2, where they're sitting at the table and she's like, you need to do something with your life. Like, nuh-uh. But
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that was mentioned in two was like you need to find like what did she say? Um, your heart needs to be in the right place. So it's almost
yeah, so
along the lines getting him to that journey, but it did take a few leaps to get to like Avenger. But he is that like ADHD person that's like, oh, what does that go fall under? What can I do? What can I do? Avengers. That'll fix everything.
for sure.
So
So it's on brand for him. But I
yeah.
mean, it's also just like, also, I think that whole thing set up for him interviewing to be an Avenger is because hey, I'm in the MCU now. That's what I
Yes,
totally think
for
that was.
sure.
But um,
That was a great way to do that, by the way. It was funny.
so in the middle of this quest for meeting, he is literally pulled into a much greater high stakes plot that is the backbone of the movie that we're all trying to the railroad tracks that this train rides on. He is literally pulled from his day-to-day life into this plot that threatens the universe.
Ev- A universe. Yeah.
His universe. And so in order to be this savior that comes to his attention, someone needs to be Jesus. He has to find a Wolverine.
It
That's what his thought process goes to. Oh man, I don't know how to save a universe. I better find a hero, like someone who knows how. I know. I can teleport across multiple time streams and dimensions suddenly, um, without an instruction manual. I'll go get a Wolverine. Not an X-Men team, not an Avengers team, just one Wolverine. I question the thought process here, but the movie has to movie, so let's let it be. That's what I say.
okay. I mean, they made the concept of and this isn't really a spoiler because they did mention it. Like they mentioned the concept of an anchor being.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what that explanation was, pretty much, of
Right. He needs to
why.
slip a anchor being into place because his universe lost theirs. So he's going to take one from another person or another universe. The logic does not mean I'm going to destroy another universe to save mine. No, I'm going to take a non-anchor being that's the same as my anchor being and save the universe.
Just goes back to what I said, ADHD thinking.
This
I'm just saying
movie
for
after movie, we'll have to let it slide, which is fine for me because cool. Um,
which, let me say, it's not that far off, only because remember the last time, the first one, he was just trying to get Francis, because he heard one time Francis tell him he could fix the way he looks, and he just, like a child, believed it and was like,
right.
I'm doing all this so I can look pretty, so I can go back to my woman. So like, and then that was like, and that was such a very tiny, not like this grandiose journey of sorts. It was just like, nah, I just want my face to look good again, and I believed him. So I mean, kind of the same situation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like he always holds true to a small simple core thing.
Yes.
In this, it's not I'm not he's not directly trying to save the universe. He's trying to save 9 people in a Polaroid
Yes. His
because that's
family.
all the people in the world that matter to him, and that's I kind of find that beautiful. Like saving the world is too big of a responsibility. Save the 9 people that matter most to you in the world. You'll do anything for them people.
Yeah.
There are people who are really good people in, I don't know, Manhattan. I don't know y'all. I would not save the world for y'all. You cool. I'm
Arguably,
not
that's
doing
what the
nothing for you.
Avengers do all the time, but they try to make it like it's bigger than that, when really, like, Hawkeye, for example, has his own family.
He's
So
doing that for his kids.
that's his
Mhm.
why. I mean, they all have their whys. And
Except for Captain America and Black Widow. They have nothing. They
well,
have nothing at all. Well, one of them has a sister,
right.
but
I
the other
was
one
gonna
had nothing.
say.
He just did it because it was the right
Well, he's
thing
a
to do.
super soldier. That's what he was
He's
built
also
for.
got an infallible moral compass.
Yeah.
But um, so he needs that anchor being. He also needs a straight man for his shenanigans in this movie so that this two-man comedy show can get on the road. And it does. And we've
Mhm.
got some deception, some lies on this weird I was gonna say buddy cop, but this weird superhero tag team excursion. And gonna save some of the best bits because I get kind of spoilery in explaining what further happens. But um, the person that hired him and pulled him into this whole thing is actually one of the antagonists, and he gets a Wolverine, and he's like, "All right, we're gonna straighten things out now." And the dude's like, "You can't do that." And like, okay, well, we'll solve this problem with blades, and then they end up getting pruned, Loki TVA style, and not even style. They get pruned, and then the movie. I think this is the point when the movie starts to be the movie that it is.
Yes.
Soon as they get pruned and they go to the void, we start. I believe the word is cavalcade of laughs and cameos
Yes.
until we get to um, the moment of Wolverine and Deadpool are like, okay, we can function together as a team for this. Stop their bickering, after one more amazing fight in a van, and figure out, okay, how do we get back to the threat for the whole universe? Well, there's a
Yes.
gatekeeper, a certain bald X-Men character that I absolutely do not approve of existing. Not in this movie, not on paperback, not in cartoon. I hate Cassandra Nova. I've never liked Cassandra Nova. I like absolutely nothing about the character, and she infuriates me on a deep, serious level.
Which is so funny, because you would
Shadow
think, of all people, that you would like her. Of
Shadow
all the
King would have been better.
people. I feel like you're just
Shadow
jealous
King would
of
have been
her.
better.
I feel like you're jealous.
No,
That's
I hate Cassandra Nova. I truthfully do. Cassandra Nova. All right, comic book rant time. Just pad the video. This
she's
is
a spoiled
Charles
brat.
Xavier's sister that died in embryo stage before
Right.
they were born,
Right.
and so she somehow can, with her vast psionic ability, inhabits another body after dying in womb.
Mhm.
Mutant powers don't manifest that early. How on earth did she pull that off? You know? How on earth do you have memories of what happened in the womb when the human brain doesn't hold on to memories until you're like 4? I hate Cassandra Nova. She breaks the rules of when mutants get their powers. I hate Cassandra Nova because she pretty much has powers to do whatever the crap she wants. And I hate people with the powers to do whatever the crap they want. It's just really like, I'm so lazy, I can't make a good villain. I hate Cassandra Nova because her motivations are just destroy for no good reason. I'm not even charismatic about it. It should have been the Shadow King. Everything she does, he does, more fun, cool, and with the charm of being the personification of mutant evil. Sucks. She sucks. She sucks. And she's bald and she sucks. There.
Okay. Woosah.
I hate the character, mind you, not the person playing it, not how she was used in this movie. I just hate the character in general.
I think she just gave off, which, like, of being a brat, kind of. And it's like, what do you want? What do you want? Like,
She
why are
was
you
portrayed
being
as
like
young this
this?
time. Normally she's old looking.
It's like you have everything you want. You can have everything you want, and you're being like this? Like, that's kind of crazy to me. But I thought the actress played her very well.
I mean, she did fine playing a character I hate. No discredit to her. None whatsoever. Just, I hate Cassandra Nova. I knew that in the trailers. I was like, God, not her. That was my reaction.
That's how I
Anyway,
felt about someone that made a cameo. So we're
they
in
make.
this together.
Ooh, okay. So,
Anyways,
they
keep going.
make their whole adventure. They make their big fight. They get back and they set the world right. And this damaged Wolverine finds, I guess, new purpose as he has been removed from the world he belongs in and he's just planted somewhere else. And it leaves us in a position where Deadpool has dumped a handful of people into a new timeline slash universe that they're not from. And we're just like, oh, okay, so this is just going to work? Question mark?
I thought that, but then I was like, well, they were already taken from their timeline anyways. So, like,
All but Wolverine.
well, that's true. He was kind of forced out.
Yeah.
But
So
I know, I mean, I can't say anything because I feel like I don't want to spoil anything.
well, we'll be in spoiler mode soon. It's coming. So if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna give you a full blown. This is your moment. Dump out because I'm not even gonna hold back on spoiling this movie. Well,
Right.
spoiling the parts that you don't want spoiled on it. So, what are our impressions aside from certain petty rants about bald psionics? Where are we at with the impressions of the movie?
My impressions are the fact that, like, there was a lot of passion behind it. A lot of, like, they gave a fuck about this movie. It wasn't chasing a dollar, it was chasing the love of the fans. And that's what they did. And it was even better because they had, like, basically like three best friends make a movie together who each passionately loved the role that they played in making this movie. And so, and it shows. It totally reflects that. And this has been a long time coming. So, like, my impression is just like it it was a movie that, like, got the care and love that it deserved, and you can tell that it wasn't just a regular Marvel superhero whatever movie. Like, they made sure that it was going to be for us. So, like, that's what my impression was, and I had fun, and that's the whole damn point of going to the movies. and we're
Absolutely.
involved in it. I always love the breaking of the fourth wall, whatever third wall, whatever the hell that saying is. But I I always I don't know why. I just like the number 3. So like it's just but yeah, I don't know. I just felt like it was something that was made for us and I loved it.
I felt like this was less of a entrance into the MCU movie and more of a like a farewell tour for like the Fox universe and previous Marvel properties because not
Yes.
all of it would be encompassed with that because like it just seems like this was a last dance for a lot of things and like your farewell tour, this is the last one, it's gonna be off the chain, and I
Yeah.
feel like that's what they went for on this, and it was different because I thought it was going to be like more about introducing and fitting into the Marvel universe, not so much nah, I'm here, now that I'm here let me just start splashing around the way I do, and and especially just playing in one particular part, spoilers are coming, that really pays more than just tribute to like the X-Men universe from Fox. That's what I think my impression of it is. Like you said, I think it was very entertaining. I think every time the movie had the risk of like dragging or being like, okay, let's wrap this up. Every time there was a danger of that happening, they fired off a joke. Now, some of them jokes didn't hit. I was watching something that's like, haha, that's supposed to be funny. And other ones, I was just like, oh, Jesus, I shouldn't have drank my lemonade. It's coming out my nose. So some of them hit really hard. Some of them were just like, that's supposed to be funnier than I find it. So, but that's comedy. Movie comedy is always like that. You don't get to workshop it in front of a live audience between city to city to city to city, to night to night to night. Or it was literally like, well, this is dragging, so we're going to fight now. Oh, and like, oh, okay, we'll watch some fighting.
Right.
Or option 3, like things haven't happened, no major jokes have hit, hasn't been a fight in a while, and it's starting to like the temperature's starting to come down. Go and heat it up with a hot cameo real quick. I feel like that was their plan the whole movie. So every time it started to get weak, one of those 3 things was the solution to spike the heart rate back up.
Right.
Um, that's a juggling act. I think there's skill to pulling all that off, and that was the movie's secret weapon in those 3 things: jokes, which are not new to the series, and action, not new to the series, but then pulling out that baby Joker of just being like, some of these cameos are amazing. Some of them less amazing. Some of them were just like, what? My brain is bang! So they did that.
Well, I mean, he did say Ryan, I think it was Ryan that said like it was nice to make a movie that wasn't a commercial for another movie. And to that, I'm like, that makes sense because if you really think about it, most like Avengers, most Marvel, they're all commercials basically to let you know, oh yeah, there's going to be another one. I mean, even the
Right.
shows are like that. So it's
Mhm.
like, I kind of like the thought of watching a movie and just being like, okay, I'm satisfied. Because if they wanted to make another one, if they do make another, which I feel like something's going to come of it, but like they could. But if they wanted to end it, they could. Like they just kind of left it there.
And that's good. I don't think they need to really build on making another one because they're now stuck with a problem as we start to wrap up on the whole review here, and start to get into spoiler land. They're faced with the problem of Deadpool fitting into the MCU now. And the reason that's a problem is they don't know where they're going with the rest of the MCU their damn selves. Like it's a whole ass thing where it's like they postponed every other movie that was supposed to come out this year, and they've pushed so many things back. They have reshot and reworked and retooled Brave New World for Captain America so much that that movie probably cannot break even in the theatrical window for how much money's been spent on it.
Well,
Like they don't know where they're going.
my thing is
So
like they don't. I don't disagree with that at all. But the amount of money that they're making from this movie is like they would have to be idiots to get to not see it for what it is and to make some changes and things like that. I'm not saying that there's going to be another one with Deadpool and Wolverine or anything like that. I don't like, I mean, just the fact that they actually allowed Wolverine to come back again, I think they knew that that was like their Hail Mary because of the fact that like shit has been going downhill since. Because before he has pitched it and they were like, no, it's not going to happen. You can't get the Wolverine. And he was like, okay, whatever. And then years. And I mean, it's just what a repeated thing that they've been saying about how he found out that he was, how Hugh was like, oh, I want to do it again. And it was a simple phone call. They were pitching, pulled a movie out of their ass, and was like, yeah, okay, green light, go. And I feel like they wouldn't have gotten that green light if they knew what the fuck they were doing in the first place. So, and now the money talks and shit. So now it's like, you're right. Like, I think only good could come of this if they don't fumble the fucking situation. But they have fumbled it in so many ways with even just other franchises. So it's like, I don't know. And I know you and I had a discussion of like, what were you saying that like, oh, are they going to make all MCU rated R now or whatever? And it was like,
or at
and then
least
they were saying
more of
that like
them.
they didn't make it rated R just to be rated R. They made it because that's what the character is, instead of like trying to dilute it into something that it's not, which is what has been happening a lot.
They made a boatload of money. And
Mhm.
so does that mean we can get a nice rated R Punisher movie, please? Because Punisher
Yes.
movies should be rated R,
They should be rated
and
R for
and
sure.
Punisher deserves a deserves a movie. I mean,
Agreed.
plain and simple. Jessica Jones would be good, and it has to be rated R also. And that one was solid. But I'll get on that all day. Let us wrap up this delicious chimichanga of a movie that was not the best thing for you to eat, but that's exactly what it was. Not just because it's Deadpool, but that describes this so well. It's got rice and beans and meat and cheese rolled up, served up hot. There's a lot going on to the point where this is one of those movies it's like watching and I said, damn, I'm really gonna have to watch this again just to
Yes.
actually digest everything that was shown on screen. That's why I'm calling it a chimichanga. It's got a lot going on and it's a lot of familiar pieces just served up and it's it's served up.
I
They
loved
went
it.
for it.
I
Um
freaking loved it. I don't have any complaint because I just had fun. That's all I ever want to do is have fun and
I
laugh
have
and
just
enjoy.
I have questions, but I also have the one gigantic complaint, and it's super petty. And I already went into my Cassandra Nova rant. Um, but I want to fire off some questions we can chop it up with. But from this point on, I am unzipping and unveiling the spoilers. I am not resisting any point from this point on spoiling a damn thing because
Okay.
you've seen it, I've seen it, and now it's Adult Swim. Kids get out of the pool. I'm gonna talk about every cameo, what they said, and stuff like that, and what it reflects upon in the
I
movie
just
and
say the
stuff like
first
that.
thing that you know
As
I'm
I
gonna
ask,
say.
ask my questions.
Okay,
So,
ask your question. Ask your questions. Go.
well, I was gonna say, first question is like, so in relation to Loki season one, where does this and season two, where is this happening? Because this kind of shows like a jump because like the TVA wasn't exactly in full functioning working order at the end of Loki season 2 when he became god of stories and became basically the fulcrum in which all timelines flow through. It's an interesting position for him to be in, and the TVA was like it seemed severely diminished at the end of Loki season 2, and here it seems up and running full throttle. So I wish I knew a little bit more about that dynamic in terms of like time. I'll probably have to watch somebody make a video about it.
So I'm in an interesting position because I didn't finish Loki. I watched the first episode and was like,
You are the most not homework doingest kid in class. Like you come out here like, oh, I love this, but I didn't watch it.
no, no,
I
no,
was
no,
like,
no.
ooh, let me watch
Don't
this.
even, because
Oh
you know
wait,
what?
there's some
You know
nachos over
what?
here, and you drop it like third period French.
Mr. Person who played Wolverine, he didn't fucking watch the shit either. So I don't feel bad at all. If my honey ain't
Okay,
watching it, I ain't watching. I'm just kidding. Well, cause it's hard. It is so hard to
I
like.
will admit,
Ugh,
much of Loki season 2 was very hard to
it
watch. Like it started off
was.
like, ugh,
Exactly.
like it
I
just was
kept
not
falling
easy.
asleep. It's just like freaking, yeah, I'm not going to even start about the shows I didn't watch, but like that's how I felt about it. And I'm usually like, if you don't get me by at least episode 2 interested in what the hell is going
Oh yeah, you
on,
don't watch it. Like, mm-mm.
I'm done.
I
And
used to give until episode 3. Like, no, you got to earn every minute of
that's
my
really
time
shitty because I
because
really like Loki. I really do. But like it just I don't know. It didn't do it for me. So now, but now that I've seen this, I'm kind of like with you because you know I love the sequence of shit. We talked about Star Wars sequences a lot extensively, and so like I now have to go back and just power through some Loki and figure that out because my brain needs it. My brain fully needs it.
I
So
want to know where it's placed
yeah.
because like I want to know when this happens because I'm concerned about what universe number he just dropped everyone off in because he mentioned Earth 6 they mentioned Earth 616, which
Yes.
I never like that they call the movies 616. Um but and they also was like Earth 10058, I think, that they pulled
It was
Wolverine
something
from.
like that. I don't remember.
So it's like, where did they land? What home he does I don't think he was saving 616 at the start because he hasn't been in that universe this whole time. So I have a few little
That's
nitpicky
what
questions
I've
like
been
that.
like, because I know they moved some shit around in the last one when he was supposed to die and Cable was like, did him a solid. So I'm like,
Mhm.
did that make a whole different thing? Is that when Wolverine became the anchor being? Like,
Right.
what happened? So that's a good point. See, all these
I mean, that's
things
just a
that
question. I'm not like taking points away from the game movie's
well,
overall
no,
score for
I'm
that.
just saying, see,
I'm
this
just
is
curious as hell.
see, this is my thing. I'm more I don't want to compare it to this, but fuck it. Probably makes sense. I'm more like when I watch movies and it makes me feel happiness, it's
Mhm.
like everything else. I'm like rose-colored glasses. I
Oh, it
loved
does
it.
its
So it's
job.
like
Yeah, that
I
means
seen
it worked.
it's like basically I saw a fine ass man and I did not notice that he had a wedding ring, a beat down Toyota Corolla, and like 5 kids.
Listen, listen. The Corolla is a very dependable vehicle.
Listen,
They
I get
have
that. I just it was the
longevity
first thing.
under
I
the
almost said
hood.
a
Okay.
Pinto. You get what I'm saying. But like I'm not saying that like the movie was trash. It was not. I absolutely love it. I don't take back the fact that I fucking love it. I mean shit, I watched the first one and the second one in preparation for this one and I still crack up and I still
I
love
should
it.
have done that.
Yeah, you should have. See? No
But
watching, no homework doing ass. Like, what
I
the
watched
fuck?
them a long time ago. I just didn't watch them like in order, like in a big celebration thing like I did Dune. Um
Yeah, you made me do.
yeah, but I didn't make you watch the old one from 1984 like
You
I
should
did.
have.
I didn't make you watch the sci-fi channels Dune and Children of Dune
You should
leading up
have.
to
Cause now
Dune
I
Part 2.
like
You didn't have
what?
that kind of time.
Listen, you know I was
That was like
asking questions
9
already. I was
hours of
already asking
Dune
you questions
content.
before we even left the theater, before we left our seats. So, anyways, what was your
um
question?
Not question, just next comment I had lined up was like, I didn't know that I needed to see adamantium, tibia, and fibia nunchucks used
Uh-uh.
against people as badly as I did. That made my heart sing. I was loving every piece of using Wolverine's body as a weapon, but leg bone nunchucks, please, more, thank you.
Reduce,
Loved it.
reuse, recycle.
Absolutely loved it.
Oh, but I will say on that thing, I loved how he just like threw his shit down and it bounced and went whoop, like that was
That sword
magic.
bout, like
I
that was
want to
just
try that
unnecessarily cool.
so bad.
Yes, yes, unnecessarily cool.
So fucking cool.
Did we see a glimpse on the screens in the TVA of Deadpool dying in Thor's arms as if that's a
Yes.
piece of what's coming in Secret Wars?
I don't know, but
Like,
that shit
ooh,
was like right
ooh,
there. It was in front of our face. They didn't want to tell us. He mentioned it again a little bit
kept
later.
bringing it up. Like,
Like,
you clearly wanted to make sure we saw that. Like, okay,
yes. And
I saw
I
it. I
absolutely
saw it.
love that. But
Um,
that was kind of funny.
Technical problem. And this
Technical
is
problem.
something that I typically do. Big battle scene at the end. When the host of cameos are fighting all of Cassandra Nova's goons and really showing out. How come I didn't have a problem keeping up with every last frame of action? Because so much of Deadpool does these cool slow mo dramatic shots while he's loading his guns in the air and yada yada. But that camera looked like it did lots of jumping and tussling around in the action with people, and I couldn't see as clearly all of that fight. And you know I hate a shaky camera, and I'm very, very like bitchy about it. And this is me about to bitch about some mildly shaky camera bits. Like when they wanted you to see um cool dramatic move, you saw that, but everything before and after it, it seems like it got the camera was in there going a little bit, and I was like, this takes me out of the joy mode.
So I again have rose-colored glasses, but I wouldn't say it was shit. I think it just moved too fast for us to like let it soak in. I
Yeah.
will agree with that because I was like, these are mo- well, we're spoiling mostly Blade. I'm like, I want to see what the fuck he's doing. I want to see this. I want to see that. I want to see all these things. And it was like you're trying to catch everything. And like you said, the only time it really slowed down a bit was when they were doing a cool ass move.
Right.
Whereas, at least in other films and stuff, they actually show like kind of like a widescreen for a little bit and then hone in on one person, widescreen, hone in on another. So, yeah, I was kind of, it was a lot. I don't know if that was just because I like theater situation. I do want to watch it back when it becomes like when it's on streaming situations, but
And in that scene, yeah, Blade's cameo is amazing. We're going to talk more about that. But in that fight scene, X-23 got snubbed. Like, you didn't see her directly fighting. She kicked one dude with the claw foot, and I didn't even see her claws out of her hands. I really
I
didn't.
saw them. I was looking
Um,
for them because the moment I saw her, I was like, wait, don't she have claws? And then she put them out and then sliced Juggernaut's legs.
oh, yeah, she did cut my man's ankles off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that dude
And
should
that's
be
the thing.
spelled
I think they should have
J-U.
showed more of her.
That juggernaut should be referred to as juggernaut as Juggernot because the real
Yeah.
Juggernaut movie was in Deadpool 2. And that's the X-Men Last Stand version, and everything about that movie makes me angry. Seriously, deeply, like, emotionally, soulfully angry. Um,
Whew, man.
but, you know, Blade cameo, Blade walks out, and it's Wesley Snipes, and it was just like, oh,
Yo.
they are trying to tickle all the fan buttons
Yes.
here. It's like, so we got the Blade cameo. We got that was a high point. That's a very high point. That's A-list stuff.
That was,
We got
yeah, epic as fuck. Even
we got
Damien was
a
hype. He's like,
quick cameo of Henry Cavill as an alternate Wolverine.
that was,
Who was ready for that?
I was not ready.
Didn't see that
But
coming
then
in
I
a
was
thousand
like,
years.
that looks corny. And the more I was looking at it, I was like, I could see it.
I said that wasn't on my bingo card. Then we got to see like stature accurate Wolverine with the short body, stout. I was like, oh, they did it. That's how he really looks.
That shit is hilarious.
Not this 6'2" Australian man. He's supposed to be a much shorter, grizzled Canadian man. And
Yes.
I was like, all right, cool. That was fun. Um, when they showed retro costume brown and yellow Wolverine in the woods getting ready to fight Hulk, and you saw the reflection of Hulk in the claws,
Yes.
since I had been dialed in already to crazy cameos already happening, because they already shown us like what, two or three at that point. I was looking at the reflection. I was like, if this reflection of Hulk is the Ang Lee Hulk that was played by Eric Bana, and that's what face was in the closet, I'd have been like, top marks. That would have been cool. It was not. I looked. That's what they should have done, though. That should have been the Hulk that they looked at. Or Edward Norton Hulk as a previous Hulk that's also tethered to the thing. That's the Hulk they should have shown. One of those two should have been it. And I was like, that wasn't the Eric Bana Hulk, though. And I'm like, oh, that'd have just been like the cherry on top for a little cameo, quick vision. Check this out if you're a super nerd with visuals.
Right.
Elektra. I didn't think that someone was gonna be like, hey, who saw that call? Like, hey, you feel like holding your size? We need you in the movie.
Dude,
Um,
I was so hyped for her. I love her. Just like what I see and stuff, I'm like, I love this for her. Like,
Jennifer Garner got to come out and stab some people. Hey, sorry about Deadpool dying, and her response was, meh.
yeah,
I'm like, cool. I like it.
I love
Um,
it. But that's what, let me
and
just say, like People or E News or who was it? What's the other what's it starts with the B with all the quizzes and stuff, BuzzFeed, like they
mhm,
almost fucked up that whole thing. They almost kind of really did, because I know there was two things that were right off the bat being shown the day, I think the day it came out, was who is Lady Deadpool, and then they showed Jennifer Gardner. And I was like, what
oh,
the fuck? So I didn't know if that was, I was like, immediately went off. And that's when I told you, I was like, I'm not looking at social media. These motherfuckers are so rude. Even in the comments, people were like, yo, the movie just came out. Why are you spoiling this?
yeah.
And they're like, and then there's other people like, oh, it's in theaters. Who cares to spoil it? Like, go fuck yourself. Like, what the hell?
Like, you got to give it at least opening
Right.
weekend,
Like, there needs to be
or
some
just
kind of,
warn people. The word spoiler warnings; those two words together are just a vernacular common day phrase. Like, yo, use it. Like, don't just pop
especially for
off
a
and tell
movie
me
this,
everything happened in the damn movie.
like, this movie was like, people been waiting, and like they had the audacity to do that shit. I was like, wow. I think it was that Friday.
That's
And
messed up. Like
that is so,
opening
I'm
night,
like, you
that's
couldn't
messed up.
even wait till Monday? Like,
That's messed up.
what
No,
kind of
they didn't.
like
BuzzFeed. It's BuzzFeed. They need their clicks. They don't care
well,
about
that's what
nothing
I
else but
couldn't
getting them
remember. I
clicks.
think it was both, but it was like between BuzzFeed, E News, and People. And I'm like,
All of them. Click hungry, thought thirsty hookers. All of them. Um,
assholes.
the fake out cameo.
Fake out
Chris
cameo?
Evans shows up,
Oh
and it's like, oh snap,
yes.
he's Captain America out
That
here.
was
No, he's
dope.
not. Human Torch in this mug. And I
That
have
was
one gripe here:
okay.
Human Torch versus Pyro. Pyro has a very cool power. I'm sorry to say, but Pyro can't control the amount of fire Human Torch can output. Just comic book gripe here. Torch can outburn Pyro. Just want to put that out. With what he did in the movie, Pyro would have been aces with that. That's enough fire that would have happened just fine. But this R-rated Johnny Storm was cool. I liked it.
Man, that shit was so, I'm so glad I'm sitting in theater and I text you. Is there more after the credits, or what do they call it? A
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
post
That said for sure
whatever.
more.
I'm
There's
so glad
100%
that
more.
that shit had me dying. I was like,
End
that
credit
was
scene is just
perfectly
laughs,
done. That
ending
was,
with the words, "Was it I got you, fucker"? Is that what he said at the end? Like that's the last words in the movie?
I think
Yeah,
so. I think it was
yeah.
like, got you, fucker.
That's the last syllables of the movie at the credits. Yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
then the one that never appeared in a movie, Channing Tatum as Gambit. Like I told you on something a long time
I
ago that
know.
that was like a movie that tried to get off the ground, and when they
I was
showed my man
like,
walking in with the cards,
and what did
I
I
thought,
say? And what did I say? I was like, no, fucking no. I'm glad that it didn't happen. And like, what the fuck did I comment on? The accent. Did I not know that his accent was gonna be trash?
I don't know what a good Cajun accent sounds like because, like I said, the only Cajun sound bites I have as a reference point is James Carville, and I don't think that's how Gambit sounds. Um, but I thought for sure Taylor Kitsch was about to walk out and reprise his role as Gambit from the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie. That's what I thought was
His
coming.
accent was better.
I saw Gambit. I was like, "Oh snap! It's Channing Tatum. They did it. He got to do it. Oh snap! That's crazy." And then he proceeded to have the funniest movie in the and funniest line in the whole movie.
Oh yeah. Like I
He
came
had the
out my
funniest line in the movie.
gas.
I was like, "This is." I didn't hear anything after it, and
That was funny. That was a good
you do your
line.
ready check. Are we ready? Are you ready? I was born ready. I don't know my daddy, but I'm sure I shot out his dick ready. What? He ran them buttery nuts all up in my mama, and I shot out of there and said, "What's up, Doc?" I am not mentally prepared for that to just
That was
rattle off in any form of conversation.
that was good. And that is very Channing Tatum based. Like that had him written all fucking over that shit.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't even know if that was
Like
in the script. I think he just did that.
I think the What's Up Doc was like ad lib for sure.
I lived like a mug. That was great. I am so glad I was done consuming my sweet tarts by that part of the movie because like laughing and choking sweet tarts up into your delicate nasal areas, that acidic burn from that citrus would have been very painful, and I'm glad I dodged that.
Funny line, but I still don't think I would like him as that. So
And
that's just
I
me.
mean, the
But oh,
costume being cartoon accurate was very cartoon looking on him.
very. But here's the thing, and not to be nitpicky, but like Remy was not a, and I think I've mentioned this too. Remy isn't a like bigger, bulkier
Kind of lean.
superhero. He's a very lean man. Channing Tatum is not that. Like the whole thing on his face just looked like it was like squeezing his face. And not that he's fat or anything. It's just that that's just how his head shape is. And that doesn't scream Remy to me. And I know that's just nitpicking, but like Remy's special to me. So it's like I don't know. Like I don't know. But let me just say this real quick, and it has nothing to do with the movie and everything to do with movie etiquette. Because the mother okay, first of all, I got my tickets on Sunday. And I think I told you there was like one other person that was sitting behind no, so one other person that was gonna sit there like they were in the middle, so we sat on the top because I was like, you know me, I
Okay.
don't want to be around people,
Right?
so we sat in the middle top, and then I checked as if I was getting more tickets to see how many more people got tickets. Fucking almost everybody. So there was
Mm-hmm.
like so fucking annoying. But there was one space left, and that was next to whoever I was gonna put Damien there, honestly, if nobody was gonna sit there. But somebody ended up buying that ticket. And this motherfucker, I don't know who he is, what his situation was, but the moment I sat down, I smelled chili and cheese. Who the fuck eats that shit in a theater when you know it's gonna be packed? He was just sitting there eating chili, like smelly stuff. Okay? So there's
Okay.
that. And
Yeah.
then he ended up being done. I was like, oh, fucking thank God. And I don't know if it was him. I don't know if but there was gas that was passed. And I was like, I'm gonna fucking lose my shit. I'm going to lose my motherfucking shit.
Oh
Like,
no.
I was just, and I was
No.
leaning towards Damien because, like, at first, something in me said, "Don't let Damien sit next to this fool." I don't know what it was in me, but I was like, just let Damien be over there. So I was like leaning over here. And me and Damien do that anyways. We kind of just like lean on each other. But like, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna scream. And then on top of that, I don't know if okay, so the demographic. Like, there was a lot of dudes that I saw that were watching this together or by themselves or whatever. But the moment I walked in that theater, it smelled of a lot of Axe or way too much cologne that is
Oh wow.
masking other shit. Have you ever had like sat next to somebody that was like the cologne smells good, but on this person just smells mismatched and wrong. Like,
Cologne is not a replacement for soap, gentlemen.
thank you. Thank you. That's what it smelled like. And then I feel like the dude that was sitting next to me, he was one of the fucking people that did that. And I'm just like, if this was a different movie, I would have walked out of there and been like, I will come back and watch this later. I am not watching it with this fucking smelly ass man. Like, he was smelly on he
Ugh.
checked all the fucking boxes. Like, and you know he was alone. And I'm like, I wonder why you're fucking alone, dick. Like, ugh. It was,
Look, he's in a rough spot. His wife left him, so he doesn't need to wash anymore. No one cares.
oh, so what if a woman's single? She can't, and she doesn't wash anymore. What is that? Then we can't get away with that. That's not fair. If we can't get away with that, y'all can't get away with that. So,
Because
no.
if you smell bad as a single woman and you have a chronic discontinuation of self care, your cats will attack you.
Listen, it was 11 a.m. I could see if it was like 2 o'clock,
No,
5
that's
o'clock,
inexcusable. You don't go out funky and sit next to people in a crowded room.
11
That's just
a.m.
rude.
The
That's
movie
rude.
theater just opened. It was the first viewing of it on a Sunday morning.
See, that's that. I use natural deodorant. That stuff don't work.
That's that.
Um,
I took a shower maybe 2 days ago, and I don't want to take a shower because it's too early, and I'm gonna wake up super early to see this movie because I never get up this early, and I just gotta spray cologne and it'll be fine, and change my clothes and it'll be fine. No, it wasn't. It absolutely wasn't. And stop fucking eating smelly shit in the theater, god damn it. Like, I swear. Okay, sorry. I'm really getting off course here, but yeah.
well, I feel like even though the movie was 2 hours and change, I felt like it was like paced fast. I felt like I was watching a Saturday morning cartoon at parts. Like it was just like boom, go, 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 go. And then like his interview to join the Avengers, I think that took too long. They could. That's the only thing I can readily think of where it's like I could shave a couple minutes off of this.
I
Him sitting
think
there talking to John Favreau, like we could cut this down 3 or 4 minutes
I
because that was
kind
like
of I agree. I think that him wanting to join the Avengers was a bit of I don't think they could find the reason for him to be jumping timelines to get to Wolverine up until they figured, oh, this is we can get him to want to join the Avengers because of the woman. I think they should have put more time into where he's at in the timeline, not just selling cars, but like why he's on the outs or in timeout with Vanessa and
yeah,
where Peter's at in the whole thing and where,
yeah.
everybody is. And they should have spent way more time doing that. Um,
It's not
then
cool that such an important part of like an established character relationship happened off screen and we didn't get to see it, and there's no connective tissue that we missed, like a mini series to show their downfall before this movie. Nothing like that, and I'm not asking for any of that. No, no, no. Like that. That's kind of unfortunate. That
I
is,
feel like
but
because they did mention the fact that like he's fucked with time in the past because remember he
mhm.
did do a lot of shit.
He literally
Um
said I'm cleaning up the timeline.
right. So I feel like they could have just did the premise of him getting, with the TVA trying to get him and somehow he falls into the lap of like Wolverine and he can't get out of that timeline, but he runs into him and it just all he's like, I just want to go home, I want to go home, blah blah blah. And with the same thing of like Wolverine being like, oh, maybe we can fix your situation, and like that's what could have just happened. um, but I guess they had to have the whole like you're gonna save the world thing. I feel like saving the world probably could have been nixed from the situation and just saving his family would have been good enough. But then
That would have
again,
been
it's
good
like,
enough.
how would it even be saving anybody? It would just be basically him needing to get back. I think if okay, here we go. I think if it was explained of like where they're at in this timeline, and if say him and Vanessa, like Vanessa was like, listen, I'll give you a chance, but I want you here at the like make a date or something like that. And he's just like, I need to fucking be in that restaurant or be in that skee ball fucking thing or whatever, or I'm going to lose her. And that he could have
Right.
just fought his way back to get to that point in the timeline.
Okay.
And I feel like that probably would have made more sense and would have been like kind of lazy writing, but at the same time, it's still, I'm not saying it's lazy writing, but I think they did a lot to try to explain what they did, basically. And they didn't get to explain the main thing why everybody was like, why isn't he with Vanessa?
Right. Like,
So,
I think it's always better to make smaller, more intimate stories with characters
yeah.
than big, high, grandiose takes. Like, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is in trouble because you've saved 50%, you've resurrected 50% of all sentient life from Thanos. And Deadpool just saved an entire universe with a timeline. Secret Wars is going to be a convergence of multiple timelines or some shit. So you can't keep raising that bar because it's like when the stakes are too big, oh, I don't care.
But then again, that
That's what's
kind of
going to
makes me
happen.
wonder, was that like a caveat to the deal with Disney? Where they like,
And you had
no,
to
we
make it
want
some
an
big over the
epic
top thing.
story, not just like, oh, you want your woman back. You know what I mean? Like, so maybe that was part of it. I don't know. I mean, because
I
all
don't
the
know. They
other
made their
shit
one
was just, he
concession,
was just trying to get to Vanessa. So,
which would have been easier to hold on to. I think there's a better movie in what you're saying than what we got,
yeah,
but they made their one concession.
yeah,
They were not allowed to actually partake in the booger sugar
yeah,
on on
that
film.
is true.
But that does not stop them from referencing it repeatedly.
It was so great.
I have never seen a movie show such a wanderlust for nose candy ever.
Aside from Blow,
Like they were just like,
oh, Scarface. But that's funny.
gotta do this.
If it's up against Blow and Scarface, that's hilarious.
Like that's a fiend.
Yeah,
Okay, hey, kept bringing it up. I thought that was funny.
it
Um,
was great.
Deadpool was a lot of fun.
I did think
I
so
do
too.
believe that most of its flaws are overcome by how fun it is, how just absolute good time, fun, exciting, uh, thrilling with the cameos, or hilarious
I
it
think,
was.
yeah, I think it's a movie that you can watch over and over and still enjoy
It's
it.
definitely worth two viewings because there's so much to see. When he fights, okay, like when the Deadpool core shows up and Wolverine and Deadpool got to fight the Deadpool core, it's like I can't keep track of all the combat that was happening on the screen as they made it into the bus. I can't keep up with all of it. So I gotta pick one character and just follow Wolverine, follow Wolverine, follow Wolverine, follow Wolverine. Next time I watch it, I gotta watch Deadpool and just
See,
follow
that's
him
the
the whole
weird
time.
part. I was following Deadpool because Yellow was like the only thing that was like sticking out. So I was like, oh, I know where he's at. Where the fuck is Deadpool? And I lost him somewhere in the bus. And
Oh
that's
yeah.
where I was like, what the fuck? Where did he go?
Well, he's fighting a bunch of other people wearing the same costume as him, so it's easy to get lost. But I was following Wolverine because I couldn't take my eyes off once we finally saw Wolverine with the actual comic book accurate cowl on his face. I was like, I can't decide if that looks dumb,
No.
if that looks awesome, or if I just want it to look awesome, or I just need it to look awesome.
No,
So since I couldn't take my eyes off while I was deciding that, I watched him through that whole fight sequence.
I thought it was pretty dope.
And I was like, they did the same thing they did with Deadpool's mask. It's like it's
The
mostly that's like
eyes.
a CG effect to make it look the way it looked
Yes.
on his face. And I was like, why didn't they do this a long time ago? They could have.
They said that like, and that's what he was saying. He was saying like he felt like he was a bit institutionalized for those 24 years. of playing the Wolverine because they were like, no, no Technicolor, this is what it's gonna be. And he was like, okay. So then when they brought it to his attention, like, no, you're gonna wear the yellow and blue suit, he was like, I don't know how you guys are gonna pull this off, but okay. And then they've been saying it on all the press junkets, like, um, as soon as he and Ryan walked out, it was like people were just like, the crew
Like
and everything was just stunned.
lost their shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was like, they made it work. They made it fucking work because I do
Yeah, the suit
think
was fine. It's just
back
the trick to Wolverine is the cowl because it looks ridiculous.
I
Like,
liked how they didn't pull that out until the last part.
oh yeah, that was the last. Like that
Yeah.
movie's fan servicing in a different way than what the word usually means. But like that was a lot of stuff for fans. Like here you go, have at it. And I'm like, now that will be a Halloween costume with the proper cowl pulled over it this year, and kids will
Oh,
wear it, and
this
that's
is
how
gonna
it
be a
should be.
sweater for God's sakes. Yes, of
Which,
course.
I mean,
Like
that's probably a hoodie I might buy. But
right next to your
I think it's
Magneto.
cool that grade school kids are going to dress up as that Wolverine for Halloween, and that's an R-rated movie, and they should not have seen that, but they
I
will see it.
quickly Googled dog pool costume and because I need Mocha to be dog pool. So,
Dress that dog up as dog pool. Put him on the show.
yes.
That'll be great.
That would be so fun. I mean, they're already selling dog pool costumes, but they're like upwards of like 40, $60 right now. I'm like, it'll die down near October.
No,
It'll be fine.
no, bring that down. We need that
So,
Temu version. Let's get that real quick. Bring that price down. Get that around late September and have it
right.
for Halloween.
I'll give it time. I'll give it time. It'll be cool.
Yeah,
But
but
I mean, I thought it was just like I don't know. I don't even care if it looked corny or not because I was just like they fucking brought it to the movies and I
I
just
did it. Yeah, it's like
I
just
love it.
do it. Like we're the amount of dumb nonsense we take in Marvel movies and like Wolverine looking comic book accurate for 5 seconds is not gonna offend anyone. I promise you.
And
Anyone
in
that
fact, let me
matters.
just say, I love that they showcased his fucking torso. Like, I was like, thank you. Thank you. Like,
Oh yeah, because it's like the machine at the end was like, I'm gonna blow Hugh Jackman's shirt off. I'm
but
gonna leave
not
the mask thing on. Like,
because that's
the
exactly
mask
what
thing is
I would
attached to the
say.
shirt.
Leave the
That
mask
thing ain't
on.
going nowhere. The shirt is gone.
Because that's exactly what every woman be like, yep.
That'll do.
Yes, leave the mask on. So I feel
um,
like it was great. Like, no arguments, and it was like, typical Disney ending of like, well, if you put a Wolverine and a Deadpool together, then voila, you're fighting science. So I'm like, whatever, I'll take it. I don't care. I loved it. It's cute. Like,
um, had me in the car like playlist,
yeah,
Madonna. Let's go.
dude, they were saying, and you know what? This is the funny part because while I was listening to Madonna, I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, how the fuck did they get the rights to this shit? Like that's the first thing I was thinking of in the damn theater, and I was like, how do they get the rights to this? Because I'm always thinking of shit like that, and like,
Mhm.
they also had this whole story where they actually had to ask her for the rights. They went to
Right to the
her
movie.
house,
Oh,
had to have a meeting with her. Her son apparently loves Deadpool. And then so she said yes, but she also had input on how and when she wanted it to be used. So
of
even
course she
her
did.
input was put into the movie. And it was like amazing, they said. Like her like input was great. And then like some people were shocked and Ryan's like, yeah, of course. Oh my God, Madonna's creatively great, like or something to that effect. And it's like, yeah, of course she is. Like she's a little loopy loop. And that's what I was trying to explain to Damien. He was like, why is that surprising that they got the rights? I'm like, you don't know Madonna. Like you just seen this like I don't even know. I don't even want to disrespect her that way, but she's a little kooky right now. But like prior, I was like, you don't even know. I was like, because remember that whole conversation I've had with them with Eminem, it was very similar. It was like she paved the way for a lot. I'm like, you think singing like a virgin back in the day was just like now anybody's, I'm like, we got WAP. And
Madonna used to be so controversial.
WAP couldn't be here without Like a Virgin. So like, she did a lot. She did so much. I was like, every
She
woman
did.
like in the 80s wanted to be her. Every teenage girl was like, I want to do the hair like Madonna. There were several different types of Madonnas that you could
Yes, there
be.
were.
And so
Yes, there were.
like I'm like, you don't get it. Like she is
Big
amazing
deal.
at what she does.
Pop culture icon for sure.
Yes.
Um,
So I thought that was really
my
cool
last
though.
talking point is the $200 million budget for this movie. It made it back opening weekend. Like that movie's all profit at this point. They
Yeah.
every single dollar spent on the movie, advertising budget included, they've made it back already. This is
Yeah.
a 5 alarm fire success. It's fantastic, and I'm just happy
I'm
for it.
happy because didn't Hugh Jackman go through like a fucking a divorce of sorts? So now I feel like I don't know how much money you lost in this, but now you have more.
You know, yeah, no, everybody who's involved in this is eating good. Like champagne's still gonna be popping. Like we spent 200 million, say 100 million in advertising it to make 300 million back. Okay,
We good.
did it.
Yeah.
100 million extra. Yeah, on top of
Anything
that, cool.
after this is just like
You've been making pure profit since about Sunday morning, so you're super good. And it's not.
crazy.
This is what a summer movie's moneygram should look like. Like, oh, we getting
And I'll tell
super
you what,
paid off this.
if
Go for
I
it.
didn't have to follow responsibilities and be a parent and like, budget, like I would totally watch it again in theaters without the smells.
Out the greasy bean chili, errant anus smell. Yeah, that's definitely something you want to
Shit.
avoid.
I wish I could have just seen
Um,
his face.
I am not mature enough to sit quietly in a theater with that happening without
I spent
shouting,
money
"Am
on
I
a
allowed to go
ticket to
down?"
watch. That's the thing. I spent money and I was waiting for this movie. So if it would, like I said, if it was any other movie, I'd be like, I don't care. I'm gonna act a fool. I don't fucking care. Like, so, but I didn't want to ruin anything, and there was a lot of
Now you got to
people.
bring a little movie kit with a travel sized bottle of Lysol from Target. Get the little thing in there. When that
I
happens, you just be sitting there like,
You think at the height of the pandemic and even a couple years after that, I didn't have. This is the second time I've gone to the movies without the mini Lysol. And I usually bring the
"Oh, you
mini
do that."
Lysol. Yeah, I usually bring mini Lysol wipes, and then I feel like I can touch anything I want without
Mm-hmm.
worrying. This and the Minions, I did not do that.
You're
Which
rusty.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, because my father invited us uh a little last minute and I didn't have time to prep.
You got to have that stuff packed in a small little bag and like, Damien, get the bag. We're going to the movies.
Yeah, I would have like a Ziploc bag. So it'd be a Ziploc
Have it
bag for
ready to
my
go.
little wipes, Ziploc bag for this, and then whatever like I was but I did have my sanitizer. So I did have that. But yeah, next time shit, somebody does something like shh, it's gonna be like fucking Friday up in here. And
Yes.
spraying that fucking Lysol everywhere.
Put some hot sauce on my burrito, baby. Yes.
It's gonna be great.
But
But
all right, if you've seen Deadpool, hit us in the comments. We want to hear favorite parts. I like to hear the negatives. Like if you've got some serious grievances you can say with the movie, um, please try to take the rose tint out of my view. I would love to hear it. Um,
if anybody
because
has
like
any gripes about Channing Tatum being Gambit, please tell me because I need a group. I
other
need
than that costume looking stiff and cartoonish, um,
Yeah, I wasn't too mad about the costume, but I didn't like how it was fitted on him. But anyways, like I need a community, okay? That's how I feel about that.
all right. We went long. This one had a lot to say. This is one of the biggest hypes of 2024 for sure. Um,
Yep.
Drop us a like while you're down there in the comments, firing off about things you liked or didn't like. I'm big on quotes. I missed a lot of them because I was laughing at one thing versus another one. So hit me some of the funny quotes we saw. And while you're down there, like, subscribe, and do all that stuff. We appreciate it and thank you. We out.
Hey yo, turn up the volume, let me hear the beat drop. Nonsense Nexus in the house, we just can't stop. Crazy conversations filled with laughter and fun. Join the Nexus crew, we're second to none.